Okay, today we're going to be looking at a couple of shuffles that are commonly used that preserve our special Bessie sequence organization of 8 cards. So as a narrative here, what I have is I have the Jack of Clubs, and he's quite notorious for a number of reasons, but one is that he loves diamonds. But the problem is, as soon as he gets his hands on these diamonds, he does illicit things with them. He causes chaos and mischief for everyone else. So he is a hard worker, but boy, if he gets any money into his hands, ooh, watch out, world. So here we have the Jack of Clubs, and from anyone from Britain, spades are another name for shovels. When we talk about a shovel here in the U.S., they call it a spade. Okay, so these are different digging tools for this Jack of Clubs as he frantically tries to find as many diamonds as he can to further his devious machinations. Unknown to him, there is a big fat diamond to be found in the location where he is digging. And then there's a cluster of 3, and then a whole group of 7, and then there's kind of a mother lode of diamonds, 10 of them. But we're going to do our best to keep this questionable character, the Jack of Clubs, as far away as possible from these diamonds. So let's go ahead. You can kind of randomly mix Jack with his little digging instruments here, his spades, okay? And then you can randomly mix the diamonds as to where they're located, right? There we go. And then you can just stack these in whatever order you would like as little packets. Okay, so to begin to mix this, what we're going to do is we're going to perform a Klondike shuffle. So if you've been watching this little series on Bessie sequences, you know what a Klondike shuffle is. And why don't we follow that up with a mange, under, over. This is where you push the top card over. You go under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay, so that's going to begin to mix these cards. And then we're going to kind of mix them top, bottom in random ways. So I'll take one from the top, a couple from the bottom, one from the top, and maybe I'll take one from the bottom, a couple from the top, and the last bottom card goes on top. Okay. Now, as part of a review, we could do quite a few of the shuffles that we've shown you thus far in the series. This is the Charlier 1, if you remember that one. We could also do a Bessie 2-2. This is where you take the top 2 off in that fashion. Bottom 2, top 2, bottom 2. That's just great. We could do a Pharaoh shuffle. Remember how that works? You spread them out. You grab half of them, and then you just perfectly interlace them. That's called a Pharaoh shuffle. We could do an even up jog. This is where you push the even position cards forward and then random stack. We could do kind of a reverse LR, where we go left to right, and now we go from right to left. Okay? And we can do stacking from left to right, right to left, or a leapfrog kind of approach. This is where you leap over its neighbor with random stacking here. Okay. We could do push-off pairs. Do you remember that? You don't change the order of them. You just push them off like that. You're free to stack these left to right or right to left, or leapfrog as well. Maybe we'll just go left to right. Okay, we'll just kind of keep it simple there. We could do a down under. This is called the Australian down under because you're doing down, under, down, under, down. Last one goes on top. Okay. 50% coating. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop the others on the table. Random stack here. Maybe the spectator wants them in that order. That's just fine. You can mix these for a very, very long time, as you know, if you've been watching this series on Bessie sequences. So let's go ahead and introduce the new shuffles for this video. Okay, so this is called a repeat LR. So I call it an RLR, repeat LR. Okay, so how does that work? This is where you go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay? So far it's just a left-right shuffle. But what's interesting now is you take this packet and you do another left-right. Isn't that interesting? And then you take this one and do a left-right. Now I may have included this in one of the earlier videos, perhaps before its time, but that's what I was doing. You do a left-right, and then you pick up each packet of 4, and then just do individual left-rights. Now we're free to stack this from left to right or right to left, actually. You can actually do a leapfrog if you would like. So for example, so let's do left-right, like that. We'll just do another one of these to make sure that you're kind of understanding how this works. Okay. And now we can go left to right, right to left, or we can do a leapfrog, as we've been showing you in these many videos now. Okay? Now, you can do as many of those as you like. You truly, truly can. And then once the spectator is satisfied that the cards are sufficiently mixed, why don't we just do one more Charlie A1. This is where you just move one card top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, and so forth. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to separate these cards into 2 piles. So maybe I'll give you one, and then I'll get one. That's fine. Then I'll be greedy. I'll take another one. You get one, and then maybe I get this one. I need to give you 2 here, right? Because you need 4. Perfect. So we got 4 each. Okay. So how did we do? Did we keep that nefarious Jack of Clubs away from the diamonds? I don't know. Did we? Oh boy, I think we did. Because those diamonds, as far as I can tell, they're on their own. And that poor, unfortunate Jack of Clubs is still stuck with his shovels, with his spades. He did not find a single diamond. So that's good news. He won't be funding his next evil plan for the world using these diamonds. They're safely right in the ground, hidden from view. Okay, so how did we keep that crazy Jack of Clubs away from all of these diamonds? So how did we do that? Okay, so there may have been like one new element that I should point out. Something my students won't probably be surprised by or have a hard time puzzling through on their own. Okay, so how we began, if you remember, we essentially began with the Jack of Clubs, with all of these shovels, the spades, right? And then all of these diamonds over here, away from the Jack of Clubs. Okay, and then you mix these. And then I just stacked either packet of 4 on top of the other. Okay, that's all I did. Okay, so what I did next, if you rewind the video, I did a Klondike, which is fine. I did a Klondike shuffle. Okay? So a Klondike begins to mix these little cards, right? In fact, it creates an alternating structure of the top half and the bottom half of the packet. Okay, but maybe don't focus on that so much because it's not essential here. But I did a Klondike. Well, what I did was I followed it up with the inverse of the Klondike shuffle for an even-sized packet of cards. What's an inverse? An inverse is something that undoes the effect of something else. So the Klondike shuffle has kind of mixed the cards in a certain way. Now, if I perform a mange under over, it will perfectly undo the effect of the Klondike shuffle. And you can actually test that if you would like. I don't know if you want me to test it here or not, but we could get ace through 8 out of the packet, do a Klondike, and then do a mange under over, and you'll get back to ace through 8. It is the true inverse of the Klondike. Okay? So doing that pair has the net effect of doing nothing. The packet is back to the way it was, right? Before we started doing all of this. And if you notice, it's not back to the way it was. Why is that? Because we haven't done the mange yet. I forgot to do the mange. So we'll do under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Now it will be back to the way it was. Okay? So we have all the diamonds right there, and we have the spades and the jack of clubs on top. Okay, so you can kind of see it in action here, but if you actually use a packet ace through 8, you'll see that the mange under over undoes a Klondike, and vice versa. A Klondike undoes the effect of an under over shuffle. Okay, so that's just kind of a fun use of an inverse pair of shuffles that undo the action of each other. So we're really back to where we were when we just stacked those blocks of 4 together, right? Okay, and so from here, what I need to do is I need to get it into this special structure organization here. So I'll take top, and I'll take bottom, bottom, top, bottom, top, top, bottom. Okay, so now it will have, in fact, I probably, because this is essential, I'll go ahead and show you that it's in the right ordering so that it will be protected from all these many shuffles that we have been showing you. So let's go ahead and just point out, so if you focus on the ones here, what kind of cards are in those positions? Well, I have a 4 of spades here, a 3 of spades here, the jack of clubs here, and a 2 of spades. And then if you look at what cards are in the positions labeled with zeros, you'll see all of the diamond cards. Okay? So it has this special structure type that we call a Bessey sequence. So at this point, you can mix this as much as you like. Now, by the way, individually, the Klondike shuffle is one of the shuffles that preserves this structure type. So you could perform one of those, and you don't have to pair it with a mange here. It's going to preserve this sequence structure here. So you could do a mange here if you wanted, or you can just do a bunch of LRs, left, right, with random stacking. You can do a Charlier one, like this, right? You can do a pairwise transpose, which is something I think I maybe did. You could do a leapfrog version if you would like, okay? You can do an Australian shuffle. You can do a 50% coating, a Bessie 1-1, a Bessie 2-2. You can do an up jog. You can do into 4 piles from left to right with, leapfrogging, the stacking, or just do left to right stacking or right to left stacking. There's a whole bunch of them. So if you go back to the beginning of this series and just watch them in order, I introduce many, many shuffles that preserve this special organization of the cards. Okay. And then, of course, the new ones that we're showing you today are the repeat LR. So we probably should just do, so here it begins like a normal LR, and then you perform an LR shuffle on each little half individually, and then you can stack from left to right or right to left, or you can even do a leapfrog kind of thing, okay? So you can do as many of those as you like. So thanks for watching, and take a look at other videos in this little series on Bessie sequences, and take a look at the many other playlists I have on the Hidden Structures channel.